Hello, Visions. Welcome to this session of the Virtual Curriculum Fair for 2025. I'm joined by Linda from Nancy Larson Science, who will be sharing about one of our offerings on our curriculum list. So, Linda, go ahead. The floor is yours.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. My name is Linda Dasman, and I am the homeschool manager for Nancy Larson Science. I was a classroom teacher for over 15 years before becoming involved in educational publishing. And I've been with Nancy Larson Science now for over 13 years. I've also had the privilege of homeschooling my youngest grandchild, Emma, using Nancy Larson Science. A couple of years ago, we successfully made it through Nancy Larson Science 2 and then followed it up with Science 3. It was so much fun. We both learned a lot. And best of all, I got to spend time with my only granddaughter. I'm going to transition now to my presentation. Okay. Today, I'm going to share with you a quick overview of the Nancy Larson Science K-5 homeschool program. If you have any questions, please jot them down in case we don't have time to answer them. Feel free to email them to me. The Nancy Larson Science homeschool program is a complete curriculum, which includes all the materials needed for a full year of science instruction. To quote one of our homeschooling parents, it's an easy-to-use, complete program that will not end up sitting up on your shelf collecting dust. With Nancy Larson Science Homeschool, you won't have to spend time hunting and gathering for your science materials. This is an open the box and go program. Each level of the program contains all of the materials needed for instruction. For one price, you get everything you and your child will need. Plus, it's easy to add additional student materials at a very low price. The kits include teacher lessons contained in a spiral-bound manual. All of the lessons are built on explicit instruction, incorporate hands-on activities, and use a multi-sensory approach. Next are the pre-printed student materials, the student booklets, lesson activities, reviews, experiments, and assessments. And please note, no copying is needed. Resource books are included that support the daily instruction and enhance student language arts requirements. The pre-bagged toolkit materials include the equipment and supplies necessary to explore the science concepts and perform experiments outlined in the lessons. Online resources located on our website are also available to you. They give access to slideshows, photos, videos, and a wealth of other online resources for further exploration of the topics. Everything is included that you would need to teach your child, apart from a few household items. And speaking from personal experience, the kits are fun and they're easy to use. All of the planning has been done to enable you to be organized and prepared. You do not have to be a specialist in science or even have a background in science to teach the program. All the lessons have been tested with parents in homeschool situations to make sure they really work. Starting at the top of this page, in the center, you can see the lesson number, in this case, number 62 from Science 3. Below that is the concept to be taught, describing and identifying clay, silt, and sand. The strand or area of science you would be working with, Earth and space, is found on the left side of the page. Following that is a lesson preparation box, which makes for very easy planning. In there, you will find listed under program materials and toolkit materials, items from the kit that you will be using. Also included is a list of any collected materials, which are items likely found around your house. And finally, instructions on anything that needs to be prepared before the lesson, or sometimes the night before. Nancy Larson Science supplies you with structured lessons that guide you as you present the new concepts. Each day's lesson provides a short review of previous instruction and then focuses on the new concept. We have included the entire lesson dialogue or guided science conversation that you would have with your child about that day's concept in an easy to follow format. In each of the 6 levels, there are 6 to 7 student booklets. Parents find them to be very helpful because they give a place where all the information is accessible to their child in one location. This is a sample of a Science 2 student's work. You may not notice, but the child has used colored pencils for his or her scientific drawings on this page. The booklets all come in a black and white format. Students add the color with colored pencils as they complete the booklets and make them uniquely their own. This is also a Science 2 student booklet that we're referencing here. In these interactive student booklets, the focus is on nonfiction reading. The passages give the necessary facts and information to enable children to grasp the concepts. Additional language arts strategies in reading, writing, and study skills have been incorporated throughout the program using this same nonfiction text. Starting with Science 2, the children begin highlighting important information within the reading selections as part of comprehension development. The highlighting process helps children to recognize the main idea in the passage and what the details are that they will need to remember. Other interactive activities that are interwoven into the program include drawing and labeling, reading charts, and recording data. The nonfiction reading passages that are a part of each day's lesson are intended to be read aloud by you to your child as a shared read. It is important for children to hear the passage read fluently and with expression, particularly in the early years. In my own experience, because my granddaughter was a little older when we started, we traded off, each of us reading one sentence of the paragraph at a time. I was still able to monitor correct pronunciation while making the activity a little more fun and interactive for her. In Nancy Larson Science, we use scientific vocabulary throughout the entire program. It is important that children hear the words pronounced correctly, so we have provided a diacritically marked glossary in the online resources, as well as within the text of your teacher's manual. We also assist with vocabulary retention using other resources like our science word lists in the upper right and our individual two-sided word cards displayed here and available in the online resources. In Nancy Larson Science, children observe, explore, and conduct experiments, which builds knowledge. This is where some memorable experiences can occur. My granddaughter and I had some exciting times with some of our experiments. I especially remember the fun we had with an experiment in Lesson 37 of Science 3, which involved the physical changes that occur with melting and freezing. In this project, we used a small container of vanilla ice cream, split it up into thirds, and then observed the way the samples responded to different temperatures. Emma really enjoyed using the hairdryer on one of the plates of ice cream to observe the effect of the heat on the sample, but the best part for both of us was eating the non-melted samples after we finished. I don't think she or I will ever forget this experiment. Children are introduced to the steps in the scientific method as they conduct experiments, beginning with Science 1. In Science 4 and 5, we have the formal presentation of the scientific method introduced. Prior to that, as you can see in this example from Science 3, they are gradually filling in more information, collecting data, analyzing that data, and drawing conclusions, all a part of the scientific method. Beginning with Science 2, you will also find independent research projects included in the program. This slide shows an example of one from Science 5, where the children are researching an element. The emphasis in these projects is that the children do the research, the writing, and the oral presentation with limited parental assistance. At Nancy Larson Science, we say our program is real science that gets real results. One of the keys to the success of our program is the ongoing review. At the beginning of each lesson, there is a review of prior learning. Additionally, during the lesson instruction, further review is continually incorporated. Following the completion of each lesson, review is provided using the printed lesson reviews. And at the end of each topic, your child will complete a comprehensive review study guide, which will prepare them for the final assessment. When you receive your kit, you will have access to a variety of online supplemental resources that will enable you to enhance your lesson instruction. You will be sent a password that will give you access to a wealth of optional photos, videos, or slideshows, depending upon the level you are using. My granddaughter and I really utilize these additional resources, especially the photos and the videos. Emma enjoyed these added visual opportunities as she's a pretty visual learner. One of our favorites was a video from the Smithsonian that covered the 1980 eruption of Mount St. Helens in Washington. It was very well done, and it amazed us both. If picking the correct level is a topic of concern for you, I suggest you visit the homeschool side of our website and click on, at the top of the page, About Nancy Larson Science. In the drop-down box, one of the choices is picking the right level. There's an excellent discussion of this topic that will assist you with proper placement for your child or children. I used these suggestions when I was trying to find the right level for Emma. Using the vocabulary words on the word lists was very helpful, and you can find those on our website listed for each one of the levels. So, why choose Nancy Larson Science? Well, Nancy Larson Science is really an open the box and go program. All of the teacher materials, science tools, and student materials are ready for you to use. All you have to do is add a few household items and follow the instructions. It's really that easy to use. Secondly, Nancy Larson Science is serious science. The lessons taught in a logical sequence use questioning and review to build on prior knowledge and to anchor learning. Critical scientific vocabulary that is essential for upper grades is developed throughout the levels. Lastly, Nancy Larson Science uses tested teaching techniques. The science conversations provided use direct, explicit instruction so students gain deeper understanding. Additionally, hands-on activities and inquiry learning are fully integrated into the lessons. And finally, Nancy Larson Science uses multi-sensory approach, which allows children with varying learning styles to be successful. And please visit our website and explore all of our products, as well as listen to parent testimonials and tutorials. You will find real parents discussing the real value of Nancy Larson Science homeschool. Finally, I want to emphasize that Nancy Larson Science is fun. That is what children say, even my granddaughter. Your child will develop a solid scientific foundation with our program, but I believe both you and your child will really enjoy the process. And for ordering assistance, you can contact our customer service department at 860-434-1045, or to order online, you simply can go to nancylarsonscience.com. I mentioned my email, and it's at the bottom here, linda.dasman@nancylarsonscience.com. And let me encourage you, please don't hesitate to contact us, either customer service or myself. We would be glad to help you and answer any questions you may have. And thank you for considering Nancy Larson Science.
Linda, thank you so much for presenting today. I'm going to go ahead and pause our recording here so that we can do a little brief Q&A if there's any questions out
All
there.
right, let me see if I can get back to the right thing